Okay, folks, sorry about the backlighting, but this is the best I can do right now. Larry will be on with us in a couple minutes. He is finishing up with his interview with Jason Goodman. And while I'm waiting for him to get done with that, I wanted to show you, oh, he's ready. I need to call him. I'm going to show you some of the things we have for sale on the website. This is, it's not working very good with the lighting behind here. See if I can do this. This is a ring that we have for sale. This is not working. Okay. You can see a picture of it on the website. This is made from an uncirculated quarter. It's in my birth year. On the outside, it has liberty and in God we trust. And this is a necklace, a bar necklace in sterling silver, and it says "No Socialists" across here in capital letters. This is also, the necklace is not on the website yet. It's coming soon, just like the t-shirts are coming. All right, I'm going to call Larry right now.
Is not a.
Wow, I wonder what happened. He said he was ready. Let's try it again. One of the things we're going to do is, after Larry says what he needs. Hey, Larry, you ready?
Yes.
All right, we're live right now, so go ahead with what you'd like to share.
It's Tuesday, February the 19th, 2018, I think. Is it 18 or 19?
19.
19. Time's flying. When we got people in the chat room already, Mary Ellen.
Pardon me?
Have we got people in the chat room already?
I just had to restart my phone, so I'm going to look in a minute.
Okay.
We had people
that we're using this week. We have the ability for you to ask questions through the chat thingy. So if you have a question, please send it in, and Mary Ellen will give it to me today.
Right.
Today, the McCabe stuff is still going around. Andy McCabe, 7 or 8 days in May. Folks, that was a plot to overthrow the President of the United States. Now, it may seem like we're whipping and beating a dead dog. We're not. You cannot forget this. As with most events in our history, when it happens, it's big news, everybody's all jumping up and down. And then let a little bit of time pass, and it falls into the old news category, and we forget. And we go on to the next thing. This coup attempt that was started inside the FBI and the CIA and the NSA, this coup attempt is not over. It's not over. Yes, the plot that Rosenstein and Strzok and all of those guys had, yes, that's out in the open. But the coup's still going. Still going. You say, well, how can that be? Well, I can tell you. You haven't seen any of those people prosecuted as yet, have you? Not a one. Not a one brought up and prosecuted. And as long as that's not happening, that tells you some portion of our Department of Justice, FBI, etc., they're still a part of the coup, blocking it. Blocking it. And we've got to stop it. We have to. I don't know that it's going to be able to be stopped to be honest, prior to the 2020 election. I put a lot of emphasis on that election, upcoming election in 2020. I know I did. When you take into consideration that our choice for president that day will probably dictate whether we maintain our status as a constitutional representative republic, and whether we become a socialist nation. The presidency fairly well will determine that. The rest of it, who we pick to go to the House of Representatives, who we pick of the senators that are going to be running in 2020, determines whether or not we stop the coup.
Larry, this is where it's really important to spread the word about never socialism, right? I mean, that's why we have the necklace that says no socialists. That's why we have the t-shirt coming out this week that says never socialism. Sorry about the people are frustrated because I didn't set things up properly, so, and I don't know why. So
they can't get into the chats. What you're saying?
We have 43 people with us, so let's just keep going, and hopefully they'll find us.
Folks, this is new to us, and thanks to Mary Ellen, she's doing what she can to bring forth this program this week. Although I kind of like the format where y'all can ask questions. Sometimes when I'm just doing the talking all the time, I wonder what you're thinking. I wonder what questions you would ask. But back to what it was and what Mary Ellen was talking about, that's why I'm trying to get things, I guess you'd call them products. I'm trying to get things that we can wear, that we can show, that we can display, that tell everybody never socialism. That has got to be the battle cry, because that is truly the battle in. And what I was getting at, your representative or your senator, that determines whether we messed up the coup. We've got to do it. Nobody can do it but us.
We have two questions here, Larry. This is a single mother of 3 is asking, can Senator Lindsey Graham really make a difference and do us any good? And then answer that one, and then I'll give you her other question.
Well, Lindsey Graham specializes in being in with us, out with us, in with us, out with us, is the head of a committee that can do investigations. And he can strive, truly he can strive through his committee to get to the truth and the bottom, get to the bottom of what was going on the 7 and 8 days in May. He can. The problem is, no matter what he finds, no matter how guilty he can prove through his hearings and his evidence and the stuff he gathers, no matter what he gathers, who he finds to be guilty and of what, the problem remains, how do we get them prosecuted? Now, we've got a new Attorney General, Mr. Barr. Let's hope that he's good. Let's hope that he's following the Constitution. He's not another yes man. But once he's got it, where's he going to go with it? And this is still the problem with the coup. The coup still has us blocked from being able to get in the proper venue, in the proper court where we can get justice applied. What's the other question, Mary Ellen?
Okay. As a single mother of 3, what do I need to do to prepare my family? What's the most important thing I need to do?
The most important thing you can do is determine where you stand. Where do you stand? Now, are you trying to prepare your family for the day the country falls? What will you do if we become a socialist country in 2020? Is that what you're trying to find out? Or are you trying to find out what you can do to stop it? So to you, ma'am, the mother of three, I wish what you would do is make your mind up to live by our slogan. It's never socialism. I wish you would make your mind up not to worry about what happens if we lose. Dedicate every moment of your life for your children to make sure that we don't lose. To do everything you can to help us fight so that we don't lose.
Do you think President Trump's going to get his nominees confirmed? I assume that means the judges that we are hoping for.
I don't think so now. I think the debate now is so extreme that it would be hard now. I say that when you should know in the Senate, we should be able to get them confirmed because the Republicans have control of the Senate. But every day now, you're going to find more and more truth out about the Republicans in the Senate. And we're going to learn, unfortunately, I'm afraid, if we don't stand up, if we don't scare them, I'm afraid we're going to learn that they're in on it. They're in on destroying this country.
So what can we do to help the?
I don't think you will.
What can we do to help the president then?
That's what we're doing. Wake up the people around you. Wake up the people you know. There's one gentleman, Maryland, and I know, and he's done an excellent job of putting out on his Facebook account all of these YouTube programs, and he's talking to his Facebook friends and explaining. And he told me that surprisingly, some of them are actually starting to get on board. You know, guys, that's what we need. More people just to wake up. More people to wake up. Now, there will be occasions coming very soon when we'll have to make more phone calls, just like the ones we just finished. Those days are coming. But every day now, we must dedicate ourselves to spreading the word. Spread the word. Try to get people involved in listening and hearing. They're seeing it. Your friends, people that heretofore have never shown interest in anything political around you or anybody else. They're starting to see it now. They don't know what's wrong, but they know something's wrong. And that's where we got to be leaders. Every one of us, we've got to be leaders, not pushy. You don't need to try to push it on somebody. But you got to be there to be a teacher, to explain.
Okay, here's another question. Can you explain socialism and how the deep state is pushing our nation towards the tipping point?
Socialism is another form. Excuse me, losing my voice. Socialism is another form, basically a dictatorship. But instead of being a single person, although there's usually a head, normally socialism is a central committee, a committee of people, a small group that control everything. You can see that in Washington. If you understand that aspect of socialism, then you'll understand why all of our senators and congressmen in Washington, why they're all in them. Because they believe that if this nation falls to socialism, that every member, the 400 or 525 members or whatever it is of Congress, the House and the Senate, they believe they will be part of that elite central governing committee group, and everybody else will be relegated to peon status. I heard just today that Bernie Sanders, one of the things that he is promoting, and folks, this is absolute 100% socialism advertising. It's what they did, I guarantee, in Venezuela when they were trying to convert it to socialism. He said that everybody's bank account should be the same. Think about that. Can y'all imagine a world where everybody you meet up and down the street, everybody's bank account is exactly the same? Sounds good. Gosh, good. I mean, everybody, ain't no rich people. There's theoretically no poor people. But what happens in that exchange, the truth behind that everybody's bank account is the same. Use Venezuela as your example. Everybody's bank account does end up the same.
Empty, yeah. Here's another question. What do you think of the idea of getting conservatives to run in their districts as Democrats rather than Republicans?
Don't do it. Don't even try it. Don't try it. Please. Look, getting somebody to help us is a two-step process. 2 steps. One, you've got to convince somebody of the problem, the magnitude of the problem, get them to basically wake up. And then when they're awake, you have to get them to try to do something, to become a part of the effort to try to stop it. There's 2 functions. And when you try to take a conservative and put them in the Democratic Party, what's going to happen is you're going to people that you've got to convince first that everything going on is all wrong, that the Democrats are all wrong. You'll spend your lifetime trying to do that, much less trying to get them to vote for you. There's no home or room in the Democratic Party as it stands today. There's no room for conservatives, so you might as well accept that. I don't like it, but it's the way it is. You know, folks, this is a real crisis. It's a real crisis for our nation. But what's worse, it's a crisis for each and every one of us in our lives at home. Every person has a role. And you can either be a plus or you can be a negative. You'll either be positive or negative. You will be a plus or a -1. You will not be 0. If you do nothing, you're doing something. But it goes to the bad guy's score, not ours. Anybody else, Marianne?
Yeah. Again, the question about GITMO, or is anybody serving time, and why can't Pelosi be arrested?
Well, is anybody serving time as a function of the coup or being a part of the deep state in GITMO or anywhere else? The answer is no. No. Why? Because they have controlled the judicial branch of government for way too long. Way too long. And can Nancy Pelosi be arrested? Yes, she can. But remember this, as long as she's a member of the House of Representatives, as long as she's a member of Congress, the laws she passes for us, they don't apply to her. They don't apply to anybody in Congress. The only adjudication to members of Congress is through their internal ethics committees. Now, if they get thrown out, then yes, they can be prosecuted for the things they've done. Now, don't get me wrong. If you're a congressman or a senator, a representative or a senator, and you rape somebody, yes, you will be prosecuted and can be. But I'm talking specifically about the things that you do or they do as members of Congress. No, they can't. No, they can't.
So we've got a lot of people out there putting out disinformation to make us think that something can be done to these folks right now. Do you think that this is going to go hot? Somebody asked.
I hope it does not. Personally, I don't think it will, because I don't think there's many people out there, as one would believe, that would take up arms and fight it out. Then you got another problem. Who are you going to fight it out with? You see, members of our police forces, members of our military, they're us. They're not some bunch of foreigners. They're us. So before we could ever get in a situation where we as American citizens could raise up our arms and hands, would be the day when there is an exterior force in this country that is trying to put us in submission. Then, yes, things could get violent. But it doesn't have to get that way. We are a ways before that happens. Use Venezuela as your example. Venezuela right now is going through the period. First, they had to convert from democracy, a democracy, to socialism. And as history has shown, they have fallen into the trap of socialism, and they're starting to rot. People are dying of starvation, hunger, everything's just shot. Everything's shut down. So you got to go through that phase. And then when it gets so bad at that phase that people are talking about their children starving, seeing children die from starvation, the next phase then becomes violence. So we've still got a couple of phases to go before I see the day we would go hot. And for us to get to that stage, none of us here listening to me now will probably be here. That's the worst part of this. If we fail at our mission, if we don't stop it, we're relegating our children and our grandchildren to be here for that next phase that does get violent. And we shouldn't allow that to happen to our children and grandchildren. We should do everything in our power today to prevent that from coming.
Okay, I had talked with you over the weekend about our continuing to make calls this week. Is that a good idea? People can go to the website, nicholslive.com, and look under scripts and get the directions on what we're doing and the scripts to make calls to senators and Republicans. Can we go forward for another week?
You can do it if you choose to. You can. We're not doing it as a mass effort. But if you as an individual want to make the calls, do it. Do it. It's a good habit to be in. It's a good way to feel that you're a part of this movement to save the country.
So as a matter of habit, Larry, should we just keep in mind, memorize the phone number for Congress and pick somebody and make a comment to them every time we hear something in the news that we think needs a reaction?
Well, you can. But here's the truth, y'all. I'm going to tell you the truth. If individuals make phone calls, just you alone, and there are other people calling, so it's not just you, but I know other people are calling. They don't listen to that. There has to the organization before you get their attention. That's why we have to use force multiplication. That's why we all have to do it at the same time. That is a different phone call than you just calling a congressman or a senator about an issue. They don't register that call. But when they get hundreds or they receive to be thousands or tens of thousands of calls by an organized movement, now you get their attention. So I guess what I'm trying to say, if you want to make the calls, make them. Do not expect her to do anything. Just don't. They're not going to pay attention to you. But if we'll do it together in a specific time frame, then we got power. Then we have power.
And can you explain the difference between making a phone call versus sending an email or a letter in the mail?
When you send a letter, it gets opened. The staffer will read it. Read part of it, and you read the whole letter. A staffer will read it and determine in the first paragraph it's just a constituent, disgruntled, or happy. It doesn't matter. And they do file for 13. You'll immediately be thrown in the trash. When you send an email, they'll do the same thing. They will, a staffer, not the congressman or senator. And by the way, when the staffer gets your letter, looks at the first paragraph to see whether it's a good or bad constituent letter and then throw it into the trash, they will not report to the congressman anything about it. Don't even mention it. When they get to an email, they're going to do the same thing. They're going to, staffer is going to read the first few lines and then hit delete. Never mention a word to the congressman or senator.
So let's.
Now, these are hard facts. These are cold, I know, but it's just the truth.
So let's mention again what our 3 weapons are against the nonsense that's going on in Congress. Our voice.
Our forefathers gave us 3 weapons, folks, to use. A lot of people mistakenly think they gave us the Second Amendment, our right to bear arms. That is our right to bear arms, to protect ourselves, protect our homes, protect our property. But the 3 they gave us was our voices collectively, and our vote. Our voices collectively, and our vote. Now, they work every day, you'll notice now, to take our voices away, our individual voice, because when you say something, if it's important, that thing that you say, be careful, they'll brand you a racist or a homophobe or something. They'll give you some reason to be ashamed. Why? To shut you up. Our voices collectively, you've seen this. They do everything in their power to make it hard. The internet, the social media, the people that go around in it, to disrupt. They do everything they can to disrupt people from getting together. And if people start to get together, look out. Whoever is the leader, if you notice, they'll pick out the leader of the group or someone, and then they'll dig into the past and they'll come up with something, whether it's real or not, and shame them. And make people go, ooh, you get in that group and you'll be a part of this, that, or the other. I vote. You see, the whole reason money is so important to politicians because they need millions and millions and millions of dollars now to run for those offices in Washington and state and local, even in some cases. But here's the nasty secret about that. They can outraise us 1,000,000 to 1. 1,000,000 to 1, 10 gazillion to 1. But they can't buy our vote if we won't sell it. And the only person that controls whether you sell your vote or not is you. Now, when I say one way or the other. Selling your vote means not paying attention, not knowing who you're voting for, not knowing the truth, not using discernment, and just throwing your vote out there for this guy or that woman, this woman, just because their name sounds cute or funny, whatever. And then you also have the problem of election fraud and voter fraud.
What's being done about that for the next election, Larry?
Well, we will. Election fraud and voter fraud, that'll be taken care of this coming time because we brought so much attention to it. That will be attended to. Means we've got to be aware of it, but it will be dealt with. One last question, if it's out there, Miriam. I'm running down.
Yeah, I can hear that. There was one more thing about who's paying for GITMO, and is this, are the Democrats just trying to make us think something's happening there?
You know, you have to ask yourself, folks, when I see this stuff out on the internet, this stuff about 60,000 sealed indictments and all of the members of Congress the day after the State of the Union are going to be arrested. You wonder, what's it all about? Well, I can tell you, I have to put it in one of three categories. One of three. There are people on the internet that think they know something. And they think it so much that they put it out there. But instead of putting it out and saying they thought of it, or this is what they think, they come up with this line, you know, sources tell me. So my sources tell me. But it's really just somebody thinking something. Then you've got people that are out there letting mob. And how big an audience they can grow. You know, they want to be somebody. It's something. And you can get 200,000 people reading your every word. There's that feeling of power. That power that comes with that. My God, 200,000 people hear what I say. Then you think in your own mind you become important. The problem is you have to deal with responsibility with that. And they don't. Most don't. If you've got hundreds of thousands of people hanging on every word you say, you need to be careful with the words you choose. And then the third category is very deceptive. And that's where there's organized disinformation, organized disinformation. I can't always tell whether it's coming from the Democratic Party, a candidate in their campaign, in their group, or another country. Man, I can't tell. Maybe you can, but I can't. The whole purpose of that type is to draw that big audience. 200,000, 300,000, many as they can draw. And get them interested in the things they want to look at, to keep them away from looking at the truth. Don't be paid attention to. Disinformation is effective. It's one incredible weapon. And on the social media scene, that world, there's too much of this world. Joe Blow's got 100,000 people that come to him, so therefore he must be, or that place must be really sharp, and they must know what they're talking about. And you fall into the trap. So you need to figure out which one of the three categories, wherever you're going, whoever you're looking at or reading, whatever, figure it out. thing you can figure early, I find that helps me. Somebody on the internet is coming out and putting out all this stuff. If they use a handle, some fake name, that tells me a lot. Why? Why are they using a fake name? Well, everybody says, well, because if you're thinking who I was, I'd be killed or whatever. Folks, I put my name up here. It's me, my name. So if they don't put their name on what they're saying, if they have to use a fake name to tell you this stuff, were I you, I would turn on my little discernment light, and I'd be very careful. With that, I want to say thank you. I don't do it enough at all to the people that have supported me and us. I want to ask if you want to support us, please go to nicholslive at AOL.com at PayPal, nicholslive at AOL.com. And if you don't have PayPal and want to use some other way, go to nicholslive.com. We appreciate your help. We've got, I think Mary Ellen just told you, we're trying to develop things that people will wear, things that'll get the word out subtly, but still with a touch of class. I don't want to just go out trinkets that are just cheap. Our country's worth putting out something in a nice way. So with all of that, I say thank you and have a good day.
Thanks, Larry. I'll take it out. Thank you. Okay, folks. Larry's PayPal is nicholslive at AOL.com. He's going to need some help tonight. We're trying to get these t-shirts ready for sale. He's had to buy a bunch of them and do quality control. We found the one that he's going to be using, and the logo is done. You guys need to know that the person who helped create the logo on the computer from Larry's design had to do it one single pixel at a time. Can you imagine the intensive labor that took? And the workman's worthy of his hire. And I know some of us don't have money, but some do. And if you do have something you can share, please help us, because this Never Socialism campaign has to grow if we're going to save our country from what Venezuela looks like. So thank you very much. The Larry's autobiography and the ring are on the website right now. The necklace will be up there very soon. The necklace is sterling silver. The ring is an uncirculated coin. It's not just stamped with some machine. The man who makes them, he custom makes everything himself. And the t-shirts will be up in a couple days. Tomorrow we will be on at 2 o'clock Central Time. We'll be live again. And I'm not going to advertise it because I made a mistake in how I did things today. So we will just know that. And please share as soon as you see that we've gone live. Share it. Put it up on Facebook so we can grow this audience here. Thank you for the 72 of you who are here with us now. And we'll talk tomorrow. Bye.